Yo, this is a bit different because I haven't uploaded anything into this new StreamYard, so it's just me here right now, but we are welcome to the show. Yeah, today we are talking Solo, a Star Wars story. I wouldn't have picked to watch this if I was choosing to watch it the way I thought you could watch it, but we have a resident co-host and we have a resident Star Wars nerd, expert, however you want to call it. Headless Ned Stark, of course, he knows a lot, and he has compiled this list of how we should watch it. I'm sure it's not his list. I'm sure it's just the right way to do it, but I blame Headless for it, so that's what we're going to do. Good evening, Poppy Missouri. Thank you for being here. But without further ado, I know we're 3 minutes past the time. We're going to bring on our guest, and we're going to talk about Solo, a Star Wars story. So this man needs no introduction, but he's going to get one anyway. He is my amazing co-host. He has probably become one of my closest friends on this planet, on this little planet. I know there's many more out there, but we haven't got a Millennium Falcon to be able to get out of the atmosphere. So, yeah, speaking of awesome atmosphere, he brings it with him every single bloody live stream. His name is Headless Ned Stark.
What's up?
How you doing, buddy?
Good. How are you?
Yeah, good. I don't see your face enough.
Not at all.
Not at all. No.
How's it going today?
Star Wars. It's doing good. Yeah, it's been a slow day. It's been, just blah. One of them days. But we're here. I just realised that we'd loaded up everything into this new StreamYard, and I haven't got my intro. I haven't got any of that stuff yet. I've been really lazy this weekend. So
I'm lazy.
But I'm here, so that's the main thing.
That's right. What's up, chat?
Charles from Poppy Missouri's in here, I can see. How's your day been?
Pretty good. Had a little issue with one puppy today, but we got to sort it out. So that's amazing. Dude, these dogs is unbelievable. But it's all sorted out. She's rusting. So, but I guess what the doctor said is that she, because she was shaking last night. Dude, last night was horrible. The sleep wise, I barely got any sleep, and because Mandy was just shaking the entire night. She was so restless. And then today I came home for lunch and she was kind of still doing it. So my wife took her up to the vet, and she kind of told her what the symptoms were and stuff, and she was just kind of turning her head, and when she turned her head the one way, she yelped. So she thinks that maybe she might have pulled a muscle like a human would, because anytime there is an issue with the dog, this is what they do. So typically for her, it would be if she has got to go out, or if seriously, one time we took her to get her nails clipped, and the dew paw was rubbing it against her because it was so sharp, and literally all we did is filed it down because we figured it out, and after that, all the shaking stopped. So we knew when she was shaking last night, we knew something was going on. So that's what the doctor said. So we got her a little gabapentin. It's a little pain reliever, and try and make her a little sleepy, because I know that dog has not slept in a while. So right now she's resting. So we're glad that we kind of hopefully figured it out. So, but yeah.
Yeah, I hope everything gets better for it. And there's one thing I know that you love more than collecting in Star Wars, and that's your two little dogs. So
that is correct.
Yeah, definitely. Because some of your most successful YouTube videos are dog videos.
Yeah, I know, right?
Speaking of furry friends, we have one with us on the stream right below us here. Chewy.
Yeah, I was just going to say, just looking at Chewy right there.
And I guess I'm going to have to bring in my own Chewy. You will think it's something else, but now he's my Star Wars canon Chewy, okay? So we're going to put him on the microphone. Can't quite, doesn't quite stand up, but he's there. So, Star Wars Solo, a Star Wars story. Where do we start with this? This is the origin story created solely by Disney, correct?
I believe so. I mean,
okay.
George had any say in it. There might be a little, but I mean, this is pretty much Disney right here. So,
so this is the origin story of Han Solo.
Pretty much of how he becomes Han Solo, and yeah.
Yeah, it's kind of painful to know that Daenerys Targaryen had some say in it.
I mean, she's a decent character though in the movie, at least.
Oh no, I like her in the movie.
Yeah,
but she's got the Deadpool effect on me. I see her in anything else, and she's Daenerys Targaryen.
yeah, I hear you.
You know, Ryan Reynolds is the same thing, as I've mentioned many times. And I kind of debuffed my own argument the other day by saying Pedro Pascal doesn't hold that gene of an actor. He doesn't hold that. I watch him in everything that he's in, and he fits the characters he's playing. I don't see him as Oberyn Tyrell. I don't see him as the Mandalorian. You know what I mean?
Oh yeah, yeah. I mean, I feel like every role is different for him. Like Joel compared to Mando, compared to Oberyn. I mean, I know he's been other stuff than that, but those, for me, those are his big three right now. And to me, they're all three totally different characters. Like none of them are even alike.
So, that I pick up the absolute smallest things in these movies. I find things. Does nail varnish exist in the Star Wars universe?
Oh, yeah, I think so, because I think we've seen other characters with wearing like nail polish you're talking, right?
Yeah, because I'd literally seen it on Daenerys' fingers.
Yeah,
and it threw me off. I was like, this doesn't look right.
Yeah, I'm pretty sure it does. Because I mean, even I believe in Last Jedi, Canto Bite, some of those characters are sporting some colored nails. So yeah, I believe so. Just some crazy outfits and stuff in there, and just, costumes and just whatever people wear. But yeah, I think so.
Cool. So again, I'm not a massive Star Wars nerd, as we've already established. I want you to talk maybe for a couple of minutes about how you were feeling leading up to this coming out and release as a Star Wars fan. Like, this is quite a newer movie compared to the stuff we've been watching, right? In release time, although it sits where it sits in canon, but it's
correct.
It's kind of newer release.
Yeah, I mean, so it's basically the second most recent Star Wars movie that was released. So it was released 6 months after Last Jedi, and I think that it did not do very well because of Last Jedi, because I think everyone was so upset with that movie, and not that people boycotted, but I think they were just done. They were just done. Like, they didn't want to see another Star Wars movie 6 months later. Strictly about Han Solo not even being Harrison Ford. I think that's where the movie definitely struggles. Although I think Alden does a pretty good job in this, considering that he doesn't even look like Harrison Ford.
I'll give him that. Not one single point throughout the movie did I detach myself from thinking that this wasn't Han Solo.
Yeah, I mean, there's a reason why you're watching it. I think he's got the swagger and stuff like that Harrison Ford does bring to the character. But it's just, I don't know, the voice. It's just the way the tone of the voice is not as sarcastic, I guess, because Han Solo is very sarcastic, and I don't get that sense. Now, granted, he's supposed to be younger. This.
So yeah, the sarcasm could have come in later in life.
Yeah, so this story takes place roughly, I believe it's about 8 years or so. So Han Solo is supposed to be about 10 years older than Luke. So if we think back to Kenobi, Luke was probably about 7 or 8 years old. I don't think he was much older than that. Possibly 9. So it makes sense that this would be about 8 years, before that, because Han would be about 10 years older. Yeah, I mean, because Rebels actually happens after this movie. I'm pretty sure all of Rebels happens after this movie. Because what we know at the end and who shows up, and he's still alive in Rebels. So,
yeah.
So yeah,
as a fan, were you excited about this when it first released? Were you hyped to go watch it?
We did what we always do. We still want to see it. We want to see it 2 days.
Opening day.
Yeah, actually, this might be the. Actually, now I think this might be the one movie we did not go see back-to-back nights. I mean, it's a decent enough movie. I do like the Chewie. Just like Fishcat just said. I do like how, I mean, I didn't have a problem with the way they met and stuff. I thought it was weird when Han starts talking in his language. I thought that was weird because we've never seen any of that, So that was odd for me, but yeah, I
Yeah.
mean, was I excited? It was Star Wars. I was glad to get another movie, but I think again, I just think it came out so quickly, and it just didn't have any other characters except for young Lando, which I thought he did a great job. Um, what's his name? Um,
I don't know the actor's name, but I know it was supposed to be Carl Weathers, right?
No. Carl Weathers is a
No?
Mandalorian. It's Billy
Oh.
D. Williams is Lando. My gosh, why can't I not remember his name now? The actor.
I'm not sure. Welcome in, Fish Cat. Thanks for being here. Everybody, please be sure to hit the like button and chat to us and let us know what you think of the episode and stuff.
Oh, Donald Glover.
I'm just.
Donald Glover.
Oh, Donald Glover. Yeah. Damn. How did I not even know that?
Lando. Yeah. So I think he does a pretty good job. I think the relationship with the robot thing is a little bit weird. I feel like L3 is probably the worst droid in Star Wars. For me, I really don't like that character.
The droid with a mind.
The droid that he gets killed or whatever, and then they put the mind into the Millennium Falcon.
Don't get me started on that thing.
Yeah, that downloads the map so they can get out of there or whatever.
It was the worst part of the movie.
How convenient was that? I mean, yeah, L3 is terrible. It's definitely, for me, the worst droid in Star Wars, hands down. I would take a battle droid over L3.
Yeah, and Fish Cat Collector will say he's kind of liked Solo, the whole Chewie friendship thing, and he's a sucker for anything Star Wars, so he's a bad judge, really.
I'm kind of the same way. But it's just I've seen the movie so many times now, and now I know where it led, so now I can be a little more.
I was at backstage with Fish Cat sometime, and he showed me his studio, and dude, I thought you had a lot of Star Wars stuff.
Yeah.
This dude, it's like a palace down there. It was unbelievable. Maybe we can get him on sometime and he can give us a tour of his Star Wars stuff on the channel, because that would be fantastic. I know, but no pressure, dude. Crazy, but yeah, let's kind of go into the story a little bit. So, this is 6 years after the formation of the Galactic Empire.
Is that what it says?
Yeah, this is what the Wikipedia thing is saying. 6 years after the formation of the Galactic Empire, in the shipbuilding world of Corellia, a human scum rat and aspiring pilot named Han Solo and his love interest Kira long to escape the clutches of Grindarlin crime boss Lady Proxima's White Worms crime syndicate. Following a delivery job that went away, Han flees some criminals on his M68 Landspeeder through the streets of Cornet City. He drives through a bridge and hangs his dice on the windscreen. So that's pretty much the opening scene, right?
Yeah. So real quick, it does say that it takes place between 13 and 10 BBY in the Star Wars universe.
BBY, for anybody that doesn't know, is before the Battle of Yavin.
Yep, you got it. So I think that's about right. I mean, you figure. So I mean, because he's about 30, so here he's probably in his 20s, early 20s. So, like I said, Luke's about 10. So, yeah, it's about right. It's about 8 years or so, 6 to 8 years.
So he's what, 18?
Yeah, he's probably 18 to 20, somewhere in that range. Because then in another 10 years or so, he'll hit 30. Because I know Luke is supposed to be like 19 or 20. But yeah, so that's about right then. It's probably about 6 to 8 years before Kenobi. So just to kind of get your timelines down. So this happens before. No, I'm sorry. Wait. Actually, would this be before Kenobi? It'd be pretty darn close. I'm trying to think now. Is this before Kenobi or? Man, it's almost like right around the same timeline.
How old is Luke in the first episode when he's watching him through the binoculars in the caves?
That's what I'm saying.
He's only a kid, isn't he?
Yeah. So this might come after. Here, let me see if I can get a timeline really quick.
No worries. And guys, please click the link that I shared in the chat just here. I will star it if it does anything. That's going to take you straight over to Headless's Instagram story, and he has a question thing where you can submit questions for us to talk about and discuss during the live. You can also put them in the chat if you so please. But if you do it on there, then you're more than guaranteed to get it answered because we make sure that we get all those done every episode.
So Bad Batch is basically right after Revenge of the Sith. so that's 19 BBY. Solo then is between 13 and 10. So because it's about a 3-year story because what he goes through. They don't really do a time jump, but you kind of assume because of what happens in the movie. I always assumed there was a time jump there. And then actually, so Obi-Wan is literally like 9 BBY, so it's like a year later. So it's like I said, it's pretty much right at the same juncture as Solo. So Solo technically comes first, and then Rebels is it goes from all the seasons is 5 to 1 year, so 5 to 1 BBY. So
okay,
yeah, so yeah, and then Andor takes place basically at the same time Rebels does. Yeah. So yeah. So I guess technically this comes just about about a year before Kenobi.
okay.
So just to get that timeline out there.
Yeah, I appreciate you finding that information because it definitely is confusing where everything is supposed to fit.
I knew it had to be close with Kenobi. I figured it was somewhere in there. But yeah, I mean it makes sense. So maybe Luke is more like 10 years old than Kenobi. I mean, I guess that would make more sense if it's 9 BBY and Luke is 19. So maybe he is 10. Maybe he is already 10 years old than Kenobi. I guess I thought he was a little younger, but 10 years old still is pretty young. So
yeah, it's pretty young.
I mean, it's like think of like a 3rd or 4th grader. I guess 4th grade will be a good comparison. So yeah, that's about right then. Yep.
Well, think of Titty Boy from Game of Thrones that wouldn't get off his mum's breast,
Yeah, I mean, I guess keep going. I mean, whatever you need.
Bro. He was 13, 14, so like, yeah, I wouldn't want him to lead anything like, especially like Luke Skywalker. Jesus.
I'm just glad we have to see Luke on old Aunt Beru.
Yeah.
Oh, this stream just took a turn.
It did. Well, I'm 17 minutes in and I can't hold my questions in any longer. What the hell was that worm? Dude.
The lady.
It was cool. Lady.
Proxima or something? What is that?
Proxima?
Is that how you say it? Proxima?
Yeah, Proxima. It was some strange worm that came out of the water.
Yeah,
it stands up tall and it's like, it looked cool.
Yeah, I know.
But why is it a vampire?
I just think that's the type of creature it is. And I just think it's trying to show that, Han has always kind of been in debt to these other beings, it kind of foreshadows him and the big debt he puts on with, I guess he puts on with Jabba the Hutt. So I think it's just kind of showing that his whole life, his whole career, he's had these issues and always owing money to people. So what's up, Johnny?
What's up, Johnny Funko? How you doing, buddy? Thanks for being here. Yeah, dude, it freaked me out. I was like, what the hell is this? And then it doesn't stop there because it gets even worse later on when we're in space. I was like, what the hell's this thing?
I just don't think they understand. I just don't think they knew what they wanted to do with that Kessel Run. I can't believe that's what George Lucas came up with. There's no way. I just can't believe it.
A giant octopus in space.
Yeah, it's funny. Like, I was rewatching that scene before we went on, and I'm like, I was really trying to understand what was I even watching. It's so odd. I don't even know. It's really weird. I just feel like they didn't know what to do with it. And they're like, oh,
people know that I
can give in the Kessel, and then there you go. You figure out the Kessel Run from there. I feel like it was just thrown together this part, but there were a lot of rewrites in this movie because Ron Howard was supposed to, or no wait, was it Ron Howard or did he finish it? Shoot, I'm forgetting all my Solo information. Ron Howard either came in to direct it or he left. I think he's the one who actually finished it.
The director for this show was Ron Howard.
So he came in and replaced. So he replaced Director of Solo.
Yeah, I don't know who the name underneath him always.
Oh, Phil
I hate
Lord.
reading her name.
Yeah, so the original directors were Phil Lord and Chris Miller, and they decided they basically got fired because Disney didn't like what they were doing, and that's when they brought Ron Howard in.
Okay.
So I mean, I know there was a bunch of different things. I'm almost positive that Ron Howard edited the final scene, or which was good. But unfortunately, just nothing ever happened with that. which kind of stinks. Now, I know they've made comic books because Kira's been in comic books after the fact. So, and just unfortunately, I don't think we're ever going to get any more Solo with these actors.
Yeah, that was one of my final question to you later. Do you think we'll get Solo 2? Because it kind of left it open for it.
They definitely, I think, wanted to do that, but I don't think we'll ever get it. I mean, you figure it's already been how many years? And they're talking the next Star Wars movie probably won't come out to 25. And it's supposed to
Really? It's the year of Star Wars and there's no new movie this year.
Nope, it's going to be Mando and Skeleton Crew
Ahsoka.
And now they're talking about Acolyte got pushed back even. They were having some issues on that set with filming. So, I mean, I guess there was always a hope it might come out this year. I kind of always thought it might come out like next March, like Mando's coming out this March. So that would be next March for Acolyte. Again, I don't even know how it's going to fill into the full story because they keep going back and back and back. The way I look at Acolyte is I believe it's going to be before Phantom Menace. And I know everyone wants Plagueis to be in there, which I don't think he will be. But yeah, I don't think we'll ever get it because you're talking about like it'll be like a decade later before they could even do it. Because Last Jedi came out in 17, they're talking 15. I'm sorry, 25 for the next movie. I mean, I guess they could throw another movie in there in 26, but still, that's 9 years later. I don't know. So I'm definitely not holding my breath. I wish they would do something with the ending, but I don't know. They really don't. And who knows if Emilia Clarke would even want any part of that at this point.
Yeah, but we'll see, I suppose. So back to the storyline. A funny moment. Han pulls out a rock, claims it's like a thermal detonator, makes a clicky noise with his mouth, and Proxima obviously is not fooled, is she? So she says something like, "That's just a rock, and you've made a clicky noise." And he chucks it and then breaks the window, the very thin pane glass window on your secret dark base.
I know, it's so stupid.
Why do you have a piece of glass there that could possibly do that to you?
And why are we not getting one of your alien buddies to go up there and maybe cement some bricks or something? I know it's pretty awful. I
enjoyed the film. Please don't think I didn't enjoy it. It was fun.
No, the film was fine. It's good enough. It is what it is. I do like. Here's the thing. So I laughed twice in this movie, and that was one right there. Like I don't find the jokes in this one very funny. I think maybe the first time I really liked the jokes through Lando, but the whole droid thing with him is so
we'll get to that droid.
It's so weird. I just never I just didn't like it. And there's another line later with Han and Chewie that I remember laughing, but yeah, I don't think there's that much humor. I mean, they try, but I don't think it hits. So, I mean, even Woody Harrelson's character, I actually am kind of annoyed with that character a little bit. I'm not really a huge fan of that one. But it just seems like Woody Harrelson in space because it's just Woody Harrelson does play a lot of similar characters. And
again, Woody Harrelson for me is part of the Ryan Reynolds effect.
Yeah, it seemed like I don't know, just all his other roles. He just takes a little bit of beat.
It was basically Zombieland in space.
Zombieland in space, yeah, that's a good point. Yeah, it's just an odd character.
Yeah, but he was still fun to be in there. Like there were some very familiar names in the episode. We see Vision from Marvel.
Yeah, Paul Bettany's in there.
Yeah. Again, his Vision.
His
Vision to me.
Yeah, I mean the cast is really good. Paul Bettany's is not even in the movie that much though.
No,
like, he's supposed to be like the villain, and he probably only has not even 10 minutes. Maybe
was he really the villain though? It was what's his face, Tallahassee dude.
Yeah, I know.
Because he turns, doesn't he, in the end? But
yeah, he does. Yeah. But that was easy to call. Like you could tell just by that one line earlier in the movie. I just recommend you never trust anybody. I'm like, well, okay, and so you kind of knew it right from the get go.
So obviously, Han and Kira leave the den of the watching Solo now, says Poppy Missouri. We love you, Charles. Thank you very much. Definitely let us know what you think about it.
Yeah, the only thing
Comment
that
down below after the live.
we literally can only spoil the ending for you, so we'll just tell you when to shut it off, or
Yeah.
or put us on mute for a few minutes, because there's not much more to spoil in this movie, honestly.
No, it's pretty much a chase movie from start to finish. So yeah, I was just saying they leave the White Worm's den with the stolen coaxium, and they're going to use that to barter to get off the planet, right?
Yes.
So yeah, what do you think of the introduction to hyperfuel and all this? Because this is the first time and only time it's really mentioned in the Star Wars, right?
Yeah, I mean, yeah, they and they ran with
But
it.
all these ships up in the sky use this stuff.
It's for hyperspace and all that kind of stuff, and at Galaxy's Edge, which I guess I'm trying to think. So Galaxy's Edge came out. So this would have been 17. This movie would have been summer 18. I don't know when Galaxy's Edge opened. It had to be right around there. But the Millennium Falcon ride, it's all based upon collecting coaxium. So they obviously they obviously knew what they were doing to link the two. I'm trying to remember when Galaxy's Edge opened. I don't know if it opens. It might have opened a little bit earlier because Kylo's there, Rey was there, but that movie was 15 or 16. I always forget when Force Awakens came out.
Anthony Blaze just popped in the chat. Did I miss the 5-minute intro? No, there was no intro today, Anthony.
No intro today.
I just went live and came up because I've been lazy and not uploaded it to the new StreamYard. But yes, welcome in, my friend. And he's back to his old tactics, shouting at us in the chat with all capital letters. He's so angry all the time. I can just imagine him sitting there going, "Hi, Ryan!" You know, you can probably hear, if you listen carefully, you can probably hear him. I heard that he got snow today, and he's in Arizona, so that's like crazy.
Wow, you got snow, huh?
Yeah, that's what he said to me this morning. So, pretty crazy.
Wowzers.
So yeah, what are your thoughts on coaxium being added into the canon and all this kind of stuff?
Whatever.
Whatever.
Do I really need to know the fuel? Not really, but it gave them a reason for the movie, I guess, because that really does play into like the whole movie. You know.
Yeah, I kind of like it because it kind of gives them more avenues to go down in the future. You know,
Yeah.
and I like the effects that it was causing when it blew up and stuff. You know, when we get to the scene of the train, I quite like that. I was expecting a bigger blast, but yeah, maybe they didn't have the effect budget for it.
Yeah,
so
I mean,
obviously they escape Corellia.
It's fine. This movie, if you really look down at this movie, it really is just a heist movie the whole way. It's just a heist movie. They're just trying to lift that to bring it to the bad guy, and then you have your ending basically. I mean, the ending is pretty long. It's about what? It's about 40 minutes. The ending of this movie. A couple of things happen here and there, but I feel like after the castle run, it's kind of like we're trying to finish it up. It just drags on a little bit. A couple of things happen where I think that's unnecessary, but yeah, I mean, like I said, it's good enough.
Yeah, so they're fleeing the planet Corellia. They run to the airport or whatever it is, the holding cell to get off the planet, and they barter through, don't they, with the coaxium, with the lady at the door, and he gets in, but then she calls security, and they end up, him and Kira get split at this quite important moment because they're trying to escape.
Mm-hmm.
And I was feeling it for him, but like he went and hid at the most obvious point. Like, you're only literally standing over there. They're gonna find you.
I know, right?
Like I know I bring these things up out. It's more comedic than it is any. I just like to get the things out that have been in my head.
He put his furry hat on though, so that
yeah. That's the point. Yeah, his furry hat helps him hide. But yeah, because if I take this off, you wouldn't know who I was underneath.
That's right.
So yeah. So I'm a little bit disappointed because maybe I need to rewatch it and I didn't listen properly. But do we get an explanation as to what happened with Kira from the moment she gets split to then being the right hand woman to the evil man?
I mean, she when they meet up at his office or tower, whatever you want to call it. She mentions that she basically works there, but it's like she's forced to because they ended up taking her as like a prisoner. So she works there basically as a prisoner, but he's come to trust her. Is what I get.
Okay, because I assumed that she took the Millennium Falcon to King's Landing, and she'd found the dagger from Rhaenyra because it looked like Paul Bettany had the same dagger that the Targaryens have.
He just put some red lightning on it or something.
Yeah, so I was like, she's Targaryen, she should have that dagger. Maybe that's why she's close to him. And that was what was genuinely going through my mind while I was watching it, because there was no explanation to this dagger whatsoever.
Yeah, and I just don't understand where Drogon was.
Yeah. He was probably down in the basement with the staff, the AT&T.
AT&T.
Yeah. The whatever it's called.
Yes, with the AT&T.
The AT&T. Isn't that a mobile phone network?
Yes. This is a high-quality Star Wars discussion right here.
Of course it is, and I'm leading it on my channel. This is what it's like. I haven't got a clue. I'm just going through the story. The most notable key moment in the story for me, we meet Chewie.
Yes.
We meet Chewie for the first time.
But you skipped how we got Han's name. We got to talk about that stupid scene.
Well, I thought it was because they were a duo, and then he went solo.
Charles. Did you at least get the dead in air joke? Because that's at least pretty solid. He's like, I'm 6 minutes in, I want to shut it off. Oh my gosh.
Charles, just give it a chance.
Just wait till you get to the Mud Troopers.
Yeah. So yeah, okay then let's talk about it. Han Solo, they get split, and he decides he's going to enroll. He's going to go and enlist to be in the Empire. He's going to be a bad guy.
Yeah, let's do it.
Do it. No, bad idea, in my eyes. So we get a flash forward scene. So the guy goes to him, what's your name? He goes, Han. And he goes, surname? And he goes, I haven't got one. It's just Han. And he goes, well, you need one to enlist. And he goes, you're on your own? He goes, yeah, it's just me. And he goes, Solo. Han Solo. So that's the origin of the infamous Han Solo's name.
That's not how the Force works.
So bad. It's so bad. I don't know why they did that. Unbelievable that that's what they did to get him his last name. I hate it. Oh, hate it. Even watching it again today.
Hey, look at that. Tell Talks in the chat. Tell Talks. I appreciate you being up so late in the UK. I appreciate it very much. Thank you. Hey, both. I did enjoy the scene where you find out where the name Solo comes from. Of course you would tell.
As I'm just saying how much I hate it.
I really appreciate it. It's really nice. I know that I have all my American friends in the chat all the time because it's American time zone. It's easier. So having a UK guy in there, it's just nice to know that he's even up at this time of night,
Yeah, that's pretty awesome.
It is, yeah.
12:30
and Baby Ices are here as well. 12:36 a.m. Yeah.
Yeah.
So it's still a little early. Usually I'm live at 2 a.m. So yeah, I get it.
Oh.
Baby Ice is in as well. Thank you, Baby Ice. Thanks for letting everybody know to hit that like button. I appreciate you. Bumpty, you're here too. We appreciate you. I don't think Jar Jar's in this movie, so you're safe for the Jar Jar hate this week.
Yeah. Jar Jar's not in this movie.
And I don't even think he's in any other movie going forward. So.
No, but I would love to see a fan fiction of Lady Proxima Emimia. What's this stupid name? Proxima?
Lady Proxima. What, the stupid worm?
Yeah, the vampire worm. I want to see a fan theory where she gets to eat Jar Jar.
Ooh. She's got loads of arms and legs, so she could rip him apart.
Oh, dude, limb by limb.
Yeah.
Poor Charles.
This is what we're saying, guys. This is premier Star Wars content.
Yeah.
No bricks and screws here. If you know that joke, you're a real Star Wars fan.
I'm not sure if this one's going on my podcast.
You don't have to put it on the podcast, I understand. Or just cut it up, so it's just you speaking.
Cut it up. We'll cut it up. I'll just make a fan fiction of Jar Jar.
Yeah. So are you? Have we satisfied your need to talk about Han's stupid second name?
Oh God, yeah.
Cool. I thought Solo and Rogue One were better than the last three of the trilogy. Again, I haven't seen Rogue One, so I can't comment, but so far, maybe.
Yeah.
It's got Daenerys in it, so it kind of bumps it up automatically.
It's just the problem with this. The biggest problem with this movie is the story is very weak, and the only big good thing we get is at the end. And I know that was a rewrite because Ron Howard came out and said it was a rewrite. That never was supposed to happen in the original cut. You know, it's almost. I don't want to spoil Rogue. You said you've never seen Rogue One.
No.
Okay, well, I don't want to spoil that then because there's something that happens in that movie that was not in the original cut, and it was added, and it made the movie that much better. But I'm not going to say anything else about that, especially if you've never seen it. But yeah, I don't know. It's a very blah storyline to me. That's the biggest downfall from this movie. I like the Chewie and Han interactions. I like how he gets the Millennium Falcon, although he loses first, which is then we see him cheating, and then he catches him cheating to get it. So that was kind of stupid, I thought. I'm like, so this guy, he's supposed to be some big card player or stuff, but he just cheats to win. So
it was up his sleeve, wasn't it? This one.
Yeah, it just these little minor details that were added. Like, for what reason? Why can't you just have Han beat him straight up? Like, why does your guy be cheating? I don't know. It just odd.
Yeah.
It's stuff that I don't think was necessary for the story. But yeah, just going on. Like I said, it's basically just a heist movie. Them going to get the Coaxium because they lost the first attempt, and then we get the great Thandie Newton in there for all of 6 minutes, and she gets killed off, which is ridiculous because she was actually I was like, oh, I totally forgot she was in it, and I actually forgot that she dies. I'm like, oh my gosh,
yeah,
I totally forgot about that. So I don't know. I mean. They did. There's like a lot of good. Think about it. They have a lot of good actors in this movie. It's not tightly woven together. Like it's just very loose and just some things are just like you're supposed to just watch it and be like, oh yeah, that makes sense. Like the whole Castle Run thing.
Yeah. I want to talk about the introduction of Chewie a little bit.
Yeah, go ahead.
He comes into this movie. First of all, he's like a beast. Han's been put down into that mud cell down there, and we think he's going to get attacked by this beast, and it ends up being a muddy, dirty Chewie. Mm-hmm. And yeah, like you said earlier on in the live stream, that we get no explanation as to how Han even knows how to communicate with him. Now, I didn't think he did when I watched it. I just assumed he was trying to mimic him by being funny.
That's not what it is.
That's not what it is.
No, he's actually speaking his language. That's how.
Because I thought he was just trying to be funny with him, like trying to just I don't know, just making this similar noise.
I don't think so.
Like every human, like all we do, we all try to do the noise of Chewie, but none of us do it successfully.
Chat, what do you think? I almost thought that I took it like he was communicating with him, and then we just don't see the rest of the movie because they supposedly can understand each other. Because Han speaks that language, and I don't know how Chewie understands, but apparently he does.
Because I thought he was choking him into the mud and he was holding his throat, choking him down. And if you do that, and you make that noise. So I think it was accidental that he was just making that noise to mimic, and it kind of worked. But yeah,
I don't know. I really don't know about that. I definitely thought he was actually trying to talk to him in that language.
Okay.
And maybe it's because he did not know at the time that Chewie, he did not realize that Chewie actually does understand English, or the native tongue, or whatever they call it in Star Wars. I don't know if there's really a name or not.
Thank you, Tel. Tel Talk says, according to the canon prequel novel Star Wars Most Wanted, Han learned to speak Wookiee from various associates of his gang leader, Lady Proxima. Okay. Google said that, not me. Haha. Well, Google's everyone's best friend. Thank you, Tel. Yeah, thank you. That obviously helps a little bit. I just read it wrong, I guess. But okay. He knows how to speak Wookiee. Cool. So they've just been friends ever since, yeah? Ever since this encounter.
Yeah.
He says, look, I'm going to steal this coaxium. We're going to do this one job, and then we're going to get freedom. And all this whole movie is he's going to do this one job so that he can buy a ship and he can go back and get Kira because they were split. And that's pretty much it, right? And we lead through the movie. We get to him meeting Kira again, and she works for the bad guy, and they have to go on a job. And you can kind of tell that they've still got some sexual tension between the two of them, even though it's never kind of referenced throughout the entire movie. You can tell it's there.
Yeah.
So yeah, it was a bit of a shock that she came back as a bad guy now, or it seemed to be a bad guy. And again, if you know later in the episode, she's definitely bad. Let's go.
All right, we asked the AI because I gotta know. So I said.
So did Han know how to speak Wookiee?
It says in the Star Wars franchise, it's implied that Han Solo, a human character, is able to understand and communicate with the species, and he is often seen interacting with the Wookiee Chewbacca. However, it is not specified whether Han knows how to speak the Wookiee language or if he relies on Chewbacca to translate for him. So then I replied, I said, but he speaks it in Solo, a Star Wars story. In the 2018 Star Wars film, Solo, a Star Wars story, it is shown that Han Solo does indeed know how to speak the Wookiee language. He is shown speaking it fluently to Chewbacca and even uses it to negotiate a deal with a group of Wookiees. This is a retcon from the original trilogy, where it is never shown that Han can actually speak Wookiee. So there you go. Any follow-up while I'm on there?
No, not that I can think of right now, but we'll leave it up for a couple of minutes and see if the chat have anything that they want to ask it right now regarding Solo, the Star Wars movie. So you might need to be quick in the chat and let us know.
Yeah, let us know. I can take it off for a little bit though. So if you have any questions about
so it's retconned. It's retconned from the OT. It's retconned from the OT because in the OT he never does it.
Because he never speaks it, right? I just think that people always were just like, oh yeah, so he's been hanging out with Chewie, he kind of knows the language, but he never actually speaks Wookiee.
Again, he just understands what Chewie's saying.
Right. And the only thing I can think of is because think about it, like even in the movie we reviewed yesterday, Revenge of the Sith, we see Yoda talking to Chewbacca, and he's not speaking Wookiee. So I think that Chewie knows how to he understands what English is, or again, whatever the native tongue it would be called in this genre. But I think that Han at the time probably did not know, and he had learned Wookiee for whatever reason. That's another question we can ask: is why did Han actually learn Wookiee? I could always throw that in the AI, but I think that after them becoming friends, that I think he realizes that he understands him, and he understands what Chewie's saying, so he doesn't need to speak in the Wookiee because he understands it. Again, that's all what I had said, or what I think about it.
Yeah, well, that's cool. It was just a bit weird for me. I just assumed that it was a bit weird, and I was like, okay, maybe he doesn't know it, and he just so happened to make it work. But yeah, very weird. And I do like Chewie. He's one of my favorite non-speaking characters in Star Wars, even though he kind of does speak, I suppose. But to the human ear, it's just a Wookiee noise. It is kind of cool finding out that it's actually a language, apparently, that you can learn Wookiee, which is absolutely crazy to me. But I suppose if you can learn, Dothraki and you can learn Valerian, then why can't you learn these other languages that are made up in fantasy worlds?
So I did ask the AI. I said, "So why did Han Solo even decide to learn Wookiee?" And they say,
"Want me to bring it up?"
I can read it real quick. It's not that long. It could be assumed that it's because his close relationship and friendship with Chewbacca, which defeats the purpose of the first question overall. So that's not really a great response. Additionally, Han's profession as a smuggler and his experience in the galaxy may have also required him to know multiple languages to interact with different species he came across. But again, I mean, at the point of this movie where they are, he's not really a big-time smuggler right now. He's definitely low level. So I don't know if that's a great answer.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know. Again, the AI sometimes is hit or miss on these questions, especially when you keep asking to, um, elaborate
Yeah.
on things. So
Yeah. Cool. Well, it's a real good way of using it while we're live and to get some interesting answers. So yeah, good idea. So I don't know about you, but I didn't have any idea who this monkey dude was. I actually thought it was a person.
the monkey dude.
Yeah, the monkey dude. It was a person. He's talking to him. Han's talking to him, and he goes, "I know. I can tell it. Is it an Andrillion?"
Yeah, I can't even remember what his name is. the guy, the pilot, right? We're talking about the
Beckett?
pilot. What's his name?
Isn't it Beckett?
Well, Beckett is it's Tobias Beckett is Woody Harrelson's character.
Oh,
Yeah, I mean,
so it's Rio Durant.
no, Rio Durant is no, that's not it either. It's.
Are you sure? Because Rio flies the YF. Is that not the monkey dude? Again, I haven't got a clue. But is it an Andorian or it's a species? And he says he knows his species a mile off, and I didn't understand the reference. But then when he gets into the ship and he takes off his costume, he's a monkey, and I was super shocked by it. But it was cool. I actually felt something for it later on in the episode.
Let's do it this way. I thought Rio Durant was
I genuinely have no idea. I just watched it and enjoyed it. I didn't even have subtitles on, which I usually do.
No, I think you're right. I guess it is Rio Durant. It is. Yeah. I don't know. I was thinking of something different, but yeah, I didn't know it is. I have it right here. A picture of him.
Okay. So yeah, what did you think to that dude? Do you like him? He's quite funny.
All right. Yeah. He's not as cool as Babu Frick, but he's cool.
Yeah, I kind of remember Babu Frick. I don't think I finished the sequel trilogy.
His
So
voice.
maybe
His voice was provided by Jon Favreau.
Oh, cool.
Yeah.
So yeah, we get the monkey dude, and we get he's flying the ship.
Yeah. So you know how you said that he's kind of like he's like in a trench coat or he's in the outfit, right? And he kind of jumps out of it almost.
Yeah.
So he was portrayed through motion capture by circus performer Katie Cartwheel, and his voice was provided by Jon Favreau. So there you go. That's why he was able to do that move.
Ah, so that was actual practical move.
Yeah.
Nice. I assumed it was just graphical and stuff like that.
Yeah.
You never know with these day and age what's real and what's not, because there is so much things that people can do with amazing talents, and then there's some things that it's just amazingly talented to be able to graphic it the way it does in CGI and stuff.
Yeah. Yeah.
So yeah, I'm a little bit, again, guys. This story is literally a chase scene throughout the whole thing, and it mainly follows the coaxium. What they have to go and get. Basically, we're on a train, and Beckett's train heist on Vandor, and he sends the team to go and steal some coaxium and bring it back for them, and then that will be payment, correct, for a ship.
Yep. So they owe that. They're trying to do it for Dryden Voss. And they said, what did they say? It's worth 100,000 credits or something.
Yeah, something like that. Republic credits.
And then after the big fight scene on the train, they lose the coaxium because it gets blown up because they have to drop it or they're going to crash. And there's who is the biker gang? What was it? The Pikes, right? Is that the Pikes?
Not sure.
I think it's the Pikes because I know they go to the Pikes to go get. Yeah, pretty sure it's the Pikes. And if you remember the Pikes were from Book of Boba Fett. So they actually bring the Pikes back into Boba Fett after they were in Solo. Because the Pikes are trying to steal that from
by Cloud Riders. Yeah, the group is attacked by Cloud Riders who ride swoop bikes. The Cloud Riders leader, Empress Ness.
Empress Ness, that's what I was thinking of. Not real Durant.
Orders her followers to lower their harpoons. Yeah. Empress Ness. So that's just another smuggler like another bad guy that's trying to get the Quaxium too.
Yeah, just another group going after it. And we find out a little bit more about them, I think, later on. But
yeah, I like the whole train scene. The whole train scene was really cool.
The train scene was cool.
I really enjoyed it. I liked how it flipped. And again, Star Wars need to understand that if they're going to tell us a story that is based in a certain time period, don't try and threaten me with killing Chewie off when I know he's in the next 6 movies.
I know, right? It is silly that they do that.
Like, he's hanging out the edge of the train and there's a rock coming, and I'm like, it's clearly not going to hit him because he's in the next 6 movies. So I don't like that kind of stuff when they do that, because I'm aware of my mind and I'm aware of what's happened before and after. So yeah, I wish they wouldn't do that. I wish they wouldn't play it so dumb that the viewer, they play it like the viewer is dumb. And I don't think they should in this day and age.
I agree 110%. I can't stand when they do that, and that's one of my biggest pet peeves with Andor. Is I already know Andor's not dying. It makes me not really care so much about the movie or about the series, because I just think it's boring, and I'm like, I already know he's not dying. I know what's going to happen, so I don't. It just, to me, that storyline, I just don't really care how they get there. It's just it's all about the
because for me, all the way through this movie, I assumed Kira was going to die because I haven't seen her in any other Star Wars movie.
Because you haven't seen her, right?
So I assumed she was going to die.
Yeah,
No,
that's
similar when Reva went to kill Luke and Kenobi. Yeah, exactly. She can't, because we know that Luke's going to survive. It's just silly. I don't know. I just don't get it. So, where are we in the storyline? The train ride, they fly off.
Yeah, they fly off. Nobody gets it. A couple of the characters die. Real Dirt dies. Teddy Noonan's character dies. And she played I guess she's like kind of like his girlfriend, because they end up kissing in one scene. Woody Harrelson's
she seemed familiar to me, but I didn't know what I'd seen her in.
She was in Westworld.
Of course she was. Thank you.
Yep.
I can't believe I missed that. Yeah, I was watching it and I knew the face. I knew what, and I was like, what's she in?
Yeah, Westworld. She was in the movie Crash.
Yeah, it's Westworld where I know her from. Yeah, Westworld is one of my favorite top 5 TV shows.
Yeah.
So yeah, they go back, and then so the bad guy with the dagger, I can't think of his name, Vision. He tells
Dryden Voss.
Yeah, Dryden Voss. Yeah, he tells them that they have to go on a job because he still owes them, right? They have to go on another one. Yeah,
so they basically, Han has to convince Tobias Beckett to let him come along, and he's like, I'm a pilot. He's like, we can do this. He's like, well, so if you fail, he's gonna want to kill you too. And so, he shows some nice loyalty there, and Chewie goes with them, and then he sees Kira again for the first time, and again, would I like to believe that probably a year or two probably go by at this point before that is all, because he's probably he's probably with the Empire for at least a while. I mean, they kind of throw him right into the middle of a fight, but I'm assuming he had to train first. So I'm sure.
I reading on this Wikipedia page, it was 3 years.
Yeah, 3 years. Yeah, the movie takes place over 3 years. But again, I think.
I read that he was with the Empire for 3 years.
Or something, because I feel like it's got to be a time jump in between. So that probably makes sense.
Definitely. So then we come to the whole needing to find a ship, because he's a pilot, but he doesn't have a ship, right?
Yep.
So yeah, where do we go from here? We go see Lando, correct?
Yeah, they go to her. I can't remember the name of that. I know they mentioned the name of the planet they go
at the nearby Fort Ipso.
Fort, what is it?
Fort Ipso.
Fort Ipso. And
the lodge.
Yep. So they figured they can go there, and he sees this guy playing cards. So Han asks Kira to stake him because he could probably beat him. And they're playing Sabak. Sabak, and Han's winning. And then all of a sudden, Lando crushes him and takes it all with including his ship. And then we kind of see that Lando actually cheated, which again I'm not really a huge fan of. And then that comes into play later down in the episode. So they end up talking to Lando, and he says he'll help them out because what they want to do is they want to go to Kessel because that's where maybe this is where the Pikes are. So the Pikes are holding all this coaxium there, and they say like when no one ever goes to Kessel, so you can't get out of there, and
because you've got to go through the weird tunnel. So everything it's surrounded by loads of bad stuff.
Yeah, it's all a bunch of weird stuff over there. But he offers, I think they give him 25%, and they so they kind of get their little group and they start heading out that way.
But before they head out, we get introduced to a very significant robot in this entire movie. Can you tell I'm being sarcastic by looking directly at the camera to tell you that I absolutely loved this droid? That was hard to say. No, I did not. No, I did not enjoy this droid at all. Like, why? First of all, I thought it was Brienne of Tarth. Because it sounds like something that she would say to this entire thing. All the stuff that she was saying. Like, I don't understand why it was okay in storyline to give this droid this understanding in its head that freedom for all droids was right and droid rights. I nearly turned the movie off when she said that. Because you're a computer.
It's Disney. That's what Disney did to Star Wars. Everything has to be righteous.
Yeah, I get it, and I don't want to take this. I don't want to take this review negative at all.
I know,
but yeah, it was just a terrible droid.
It is terrible, and I can't believe this is the way they decide to give the Millennium Falcon a life. Like, are you kidding? It makes me not even. I don't know. It's just. I don't know. It's terrible.
Yeah. It is. I didn't get it. Obviously, she had a smart mind. She could speak for herself. She could think for her own thoughts, and the mind was. So she gets killed, and Lando ends up picking it up, carrying it back to the ship. Is it Lando that does it?
Yeah, Lando gets shot though too. And
yeah,
she kind of picks both of them up.
Yeah, and he takes it back, and he puts the mind of the droid into the Millennium Falcon, and that's what makes the Millennium Falcon the fastest and best ship in the planet.
Yep.
In the universe. So
they basically go to Kessel, they land, they go through the Pikes, they dress up, and they have a little Easter egg there. They have Tobias Beckett is dressed in the old, and I want to say old, but he's dressed as Lando's bounty hunter in Return of the Jedi. So that's a pretty cool Easter egg. So that same little outfit there that he goes to rescue Princess Leia in. And they end up rescuing a bunch of Wookiees and everything else. And Chewie's got to make a decision to either go with all the Wookiees or go back with Han. So he chooses Han. And then now we're making the Kessel Run. And apparently it's over 12 parsecs.
Yeah, he said 20.
Well, he said that it's impossible to do under 20. And if you don't know what parsecs are, it's basically just it's how fast you can travel.
Just like miles per hour.
Exactly. And the idea here is that they need to get the coaxium out of Kessel, and because if not, it would freeze from space.
Yeah, because it's unstable.
This is unstable, and they had to do it well under 20. And Han's like, "Oh, I can do it faster than that." So that's really the reason why they decided to do this, and they end up doing it in just over 12 parsecs. But like they always say, made the Kessel Run in 12 parsecs. And later down in the episode, he goes, "Yeah, well, I'm just rounding down." So it's kind of
Chewie says something, doesn't he? And he argues back that, "No, I just rounded it down, dude.
I rounded it down." So it's kind of funny because how big of a deal it's made to be in, A New Hope is that we find out that he rounds down. So that was funny. That was all right too.
Yeah, no. Again, all the Chewie and Han stuff is brilliant. That's probably why I would say I enjoyed the movie.
Yeah,
and it's not because Daenerys Targaryen was in it, because you all know I'm not a massive fan of Daenerys Targaryen, the character. I love Emilia Clarke, but yeah, it was good seeing her face and stuff. But yeah, for me, she doesn't fit in Star Wars, unfortunately.
Yeah,
at all. So we do the Kessel Run. like we just spoke about, the Kessel Run is pretty crazy.
I
They are
I still don't even
everything's
understand
fine.
it.
Everything's fine. Getting out because obviously, well, they go to Kessel. Let's just say they go to Kessel. They infiltrate in Kessel, and we get to see them encounter the Pikes.
Mhm.
And the Pikes were good for me to see because they connected me to Kenobi.
Mhm.
Or was it? Is it Kenobi? Was it
Oh,
the
I'm
Pikes
sorry.
in
No,
Kenobi? It was
Boba.
Boba.
Yeah.
Boba. Yeah, because the Boba was my first ever introduction to the Pikes as people in this storyline canon. So yeah, it was nice to get that kind of flashback back to it. PDX has just given us some information in the chat about his channel and what he's up to. He's making episode 2 of The Last of Us tonight.
Beautiful.
Because yeah, if you haven't checked out his first episode, please do. It was quite good. He's trying to pretty much match up the show to the game, and he's doing pretty well. So definitely check it out.
Yeah, it's pretty cool.
Yeah, interesting. So they go to Kessel. What do you think about the Pikes? Do you like the Pikes?
I just
They're a bit weird.
It's whatever. I mean, I didn't really like him in Boba Fett that much either. It's fine. It's fine for what it is. So I mean, nothing
Okay.
great. It's just a small group that we don't actually know that much about. I mean, we actually find out way more information about them in Book of Boba Fett than we do in and then we do in this. But I mean, it's just a group, you know.
Mm-hmm.
I personally, I could really care less, about them. But
So L3 decides that she's going to pass on her knowledge to every other drone in the entire vicinity of the area, and they all decide to have an uprising. They all take off those weird chips that they've got on them, and it all just goes to chaos, and there's a massive fight, and that's how we get to the point that we're at. And we were talking about a second ago, how L3 gets destroyed, and Lando runs out, grabs her, and then Chewie saves the day. Her mind gets put into the Falcon, and then they attempt to leave, and everything's fine, leaving this Kessel area, which is pretty cool.
I just didn't
And
understand the big space thing in there, the big space creature.
yeah, but that's what I was going to say. Like, we're in this tunnel, and
Yeah.
we're about to leave, and then we have the Empire, the Imperial Starfleet coming in.
Like, comes out of nowhere. Like, why
Where the hell does that come from?
How do they? I don't know. I didn't quite understand it either. Like, all of a sudden they just appear. Like, why?
And you can't just go past it.
Well, no, he turns around because they send the TIE fighters after him. He turns around, and then that's when they make that little crazy move. And he's like spinning on the ground, destroying his landing gear. Again, didn't quite understand that move. I don't know what the
So
point
you might need to give me a quick 30-second understanding of how hyperspeed works. Can you not hyperspeed if something is in front of you?
No, is you got to plan it, because if you hyperspeed into something in front of you, you're just going to hit it. So you have to map it out where you can go, and however far you want to go. But if there's anything in your direct way, you're going to end up running into it. So that's why like in the original trilogy, it takes them quite a while sometimes to like plan it out, and like we can't go yet because there's something there or something's not working. That's why. But it's funny because they can Return of the Jedi. They hit hyperspeed like 2 times, and it's like there's like no planning at all. And in the sequels, they just like do it.
I've seen hyperspeed. They come out of hyperspeed just out at the edge of an asteroid field, and I'm like, so you just hyperspeeded through that asteroid field? Okay. Because they come out just at the edge of it.
Yeah.
Yeah,
it's all planning, and that's why they downloaded L3 so they could actually like
the best navigation system on the universe. Yeah.
Exactly.
Yeah. So basically, the Empire are there waiting, and I'm thinking, so who's this? Is this supposed to be Darth Vader?
I mean, I guess, or it's the Imperials. I don't know.
Okay.
I don't know if technically Vader would be on the ship or not, but
Okay. So yeah, he decides, let's just scoot straight into this horrible stuff on the left-hand side here. And it's an asteroid field in the cloud. And then, yeah, we come across the most amazing character in this show. The massive space squid. Which was like, what the hell's going on?
Dude, I mean, I still don't understand why that was even in there.
It was a way to obviously show them danger within the area that they were in, and they had to overcome the danger to get out. And I kind of like how they did it.
Yeah, it's something different. They put a little coaxium in the fuel, and that's what gave them the extra little boost. So that was pretty.
No, at first it didn't, though, did it? At first it broke down.
Well, it broke down, yeah.
Yeah, and then I thought,
of course it broke down. It's the Millennium Falcon. It breaks down in every episode.
oh damn it, they're actually going to go through this wormhole. Where are they going to end up? Like, we're probably going to end up like with Snoke or something in a different dimension. I don't know. Yeah, because again, that's another. When we get onto the Snoke character, I'll have serious questions because I don't understand that thing. And then so to flash forward back to the Millennium, it kicks in, and it just flies straight out, and that's how he gets the Kessel in 12. I'm guessing.
That's in
with the coaxium. So the coaxium did it in the speed.
In 12 parsecs. What is that? What exactly is that like? Is it less than 12 parsecs? You never heard of the Millennium Falcon in less than 12?
It did the Kessel Run in less than 12 parsecs. I'm sure it's less than 12 parsecs.
Less than?
I'm sure it's less than.
In A New Hope. Keep going. I'm going to type this in.
Yeah, I will do. So they leave, they get off the island, they complete the Kessel Run. Han takes the Falcon and the TIE fighters through the dangerous storm clouds, like we've already spoke about. They divert power to the rear power shield generator, and they just shoot out. Oh, and apparently, reading here, Chewbacca responds that he is 190 years old.
You look great.
He does look great for 190, right?
He goes, you look great. 190? You look great.
Yeah.
You're sure you can share that real quick if you want.
Yeah.
So it says it
so
right.
What does Han Solo say in A New Hope? Han Solo, it's the ship that made the Kessel Run in less than 12 parsecs. I've outrun Imperial starships, not local bulk cruisers, mind you. I'm talking about the big Corellian starships now. She's fast enough for you, old man. Okay.
Less than 12.
Now, less than 12.
And we know now that he said actually it was just over 12. So his story has changed over time.
Congratulations, Disney.
I do think it's Disney screwing up, personally.
Yeah, that's why I'm saying congratulations to Disney, because they screwed up.
If anything, they should have said like 11.9, and then technically you're less than, you know.
Yeah.
12 parsecs would be 11.9, not just over 12. It's weird. Whatever. Disney. So
we leave Saravine, the island that they were on, the planet that they were on. We get away, and then this just kicks into some stupid stuff at the end. It was a bit. I didn't understand what was going on at all. Like,
so these are the
they
dudes
land at this beach.
Yeah, so these are the dudes that they were trying.
It's the TikTok Avengers.
The TikTok Avengers, yeah. We have the TikTok Avengers show up, and they're the same guys that were trying to steal the coaxium from them on the train, and then we same group.
So the badass chick at the beginning at the train was the TikTok Avenger.
The TikTok Avenger.
Oh, now that just disappoints me because I liked her, and then when I found out who it was, I was like, "What are we doing?"
Yes, it was Jade from Willow.
Jade from Willow, yeah. Is this the only Star Wars movie she's in?
Yes.
See, I must have seen trailers because I knew she was in Star Wars.
Yeah.
But I've never seen Solo.
Yeah. And this is the only one she's in.
I must have seen trailers.
Yep.
Yeah. It's literally, and I don't know why, maybe it's just Disney, but she doesn't look any different in either shows.
I know.
From her in Willow and her in this, it's exactly the same character. You could literally say it's the same character. You know? Kit has told her to no longer protect her, so she joined the Imperial Army, and now she's working in space.
Yeah. Yeah, the whole end of this movie really is kind of a mess. It really is. It's funny.
And that'll be because you said they added things in at the end, correct? To make it.
Yeah, they did. It's just weird. Like, these characters are like, this whole group is all about like being in the front end of the movie, and then all of a sudden we don't see them for the next 45, 50 minutes, and then all of a sudden they just reappear again out of nowhere. It's like, but
yeah. So Ennis and Enfris Ness is Jade, which is okay. It's pretty cool, but she definitely comes across as young. She doesn't come across as like at all any way leadership quality at all. It's just literally she's plugged in there. I've got to shout out my boy Willow though, because Willow is also in this movie. Warwick Davis. I heard him before I seen him. There is a scene with two guards. One is very small, one is quite tall, and the small person says something to the taller person, and I knew instantly that was Warwick Davis's voice. And then later on in the episode, we get that it kind of pays off for me, and he takes his helmet off, and it's Warwick Davis, and I was very pleased to see him in this as part of the TikTok Avengers. Unfortunately, that is the name that I warranted the group from Willow. If you want to know more about that, go check out our breakdown of the whole series that we did on the channels. Quite a few references to the TikTok Avengers in there. So
here's a little information of the Cloud Riders. So the Cloud Riders are a resistance fighting group. So they're basically like a band of pirates. It's a rebel group that fights against the crime syndicate, which is Crimson Dawn. So basically, in the beginning, they're all fighting for the coaxium because it's obviously worth so much money because it's fuel for hyperspace. And then after they both fail to get to steal that shipment, they track down Beckett and his crew because they know they stole I don't know how they knew, but they knew they stole the coaxium from Kessel. So the Cloud Riders find Beckett, and I guess they're on Severine.
Yes, Severine.
Yeah, where they reveal the group's true purpose of fighting as allies fighting against the Crimson Dawn. So here we find out they're actually with them. At the time, though, on the train, they were just still going for the money, or going for the coaxium. And they end up just joining. They end up joining their side to fight against Crimson Dawn. So I mean that's kind of what it is. And then later on, Ness intended to use the coaxium to help give her life to the rebellion. So she gave the coaxium to Saw Gerrera. And at the time when she gave it to Saw Gerrera, which we don't see this, I don't know if this is in the Bad Batch. I know Saw was in it, and I don't remember if we actually see this. Maybe we do. This is why they're mentioning it. I just don't remember. But the coaxium was given to Saw Gerrera and his young ward, who is Jyn Erso, who was in Row One.
Okay. So yeah, we have this whole.
So it's kind of connected.
This whole stand down. It's like we don't know what's really going on. Han comes out and you said you only laughed a couple of times. I laughed at this one line. He goes, "I've got a ship over there with 20,000 men, and they'll come as soon as I click my fingers," and it flies off.
Yeah, that's true. It does fly off. It's just like four.
It's Lando. I was like, I don't even think Lando heard what he was saying, but it was comedic that he flew off at that exact point.
It's just odd. They landed his office and takes off. He's like, "I'm out."
Yeah, it was funny. That was a very good line. It made me giggle. But again, I didn't understand what was happening at all. I was lost. And hello, Kenneth Bird. Thank you for being here, buddy. I appreciate you. Yeah. So again, you probably have a better memory knowledge of how this movie ends, because I just want to say Darth Maul, but that's the very end.
Yeah. I mean, basically, Tobias turns on Solo, and he ends up getting killed. This Han kills him, right?
I believe so.
I think so. Yeah, he kills him. I'm trying to get mixed up a little bit. And then we go back up and we take out Dryden Voss, and we find out that Kira is actually the leader of Crimson Dawn, along with Darth Maul, who we then see in a nice hologram, which is pretty badass. And so we kind of find out that it's her and Darth Maul who are kind of leading this crime syndicate that's called Crimson Dawn. I mean, that's pretty much where it goes. And then Han ends up winning the Millennium Falcon because he catches Lando for cheating. And that's kind of how the movie ends for the most part.
So I paused it being very. I paused it on the Darth Maul scene because this it shocked me. I knew something was happening with him because I think we'd already spoiled it in a previous talk.
Yeah, probably.
But he has spider-like limbs. They're like mechanical. I don't have it here. I paused it while I was watching.
Yeah, I'll get it.
But yeah, so he has spider-like limbs, which is interesting because if anybody remembers when we reviewed the Phantom Menace, at the end of the Phantom Menace, he fights Obi-Wan Kenobi, and Obi-Wan chops him in half, and he falls down. He falls down the chute. There's two halves of him. So technically, he's still alive because his top half is intact, and he just needs new legs or new form of moving around. I haven't seen Rebels, so I don't know.
Yeah,
we see.
He actually gets the spider limbs back in Clone Wars. Or no, wait. No, I'm sorry. No, wait. It is Clone Wars.
Oh, Clone Wars. Sorry, yeah, I get Clone Wars and Rebels mixed up.
He comes back in Clone Wars, and he gets the spider legs, and then he ends up eventually getting back regular limbs. I think it's mechanical, but yeah, he does get spider legs, which is kind of funny.
That's cool.
Maul in Solo.
So, like, chop off the sick part of Grievous and glue on Darth Maul, and you kind of have the same thing.
So wait, you said you could see the spiral limbs in the movie?
Very, very. It's very, very subtle.
I was trying to see it.
It is like very subtle and very quick, but you can kind of see mechanical lowerings that weren't in the shape of feet and legs. So yeah, it was pretty cool. I just didn't understand it, and I was a bit confused. It's funny because I'm reading this Wikipedia page, and we don't actually get any reference to Darth Maul.
For what are you looking under Wikipedia for?
I'm just looking through the generic plot.
Oh, they don't mention anything about him at the end?
No. Following the deaths of Voss and Beckett, Han and Chewbacca deliver the refined coaxium to Nest, who reveals her plans to use the coaxium, which is worth 60 million credits, to aid the rebellion against the Empire. She offers Han the chance to join her, but he declines. In response, Nest states that someday he may feel more sympathetic to the rebel cause. Out of gratitude for his help, Nest gives Solo a vial of coaxium, enough to buy a ship for himself. Elsewhere, Han and Chewbacca track down Lando in the jungle outpost of Nemedan Prime, where Lando is regaling patrons about his adventures in Star Cave Nebula. Han childs Lando for leaving them on the Savine before embracing him when Lando asks for his cut. Han replies he is not getting any since they barely survived their last adventure. After acquiring the Falcon, Han tells Chewbacca that he plans to go to Tatooine, where Beckett told him that the gangster is putting together an organization. The Falcon then jumps to hyperspace. This is the end of the movie.
There is no great picture to show.
I should bring up the picture from Rebels or the other one.
I'm trying to find it from Solo. It's just the images are really, really bad.
Yeah. Yes, so they basically end. Han wants to go to Tatooine, correct?
Correct.
At the end of the movie, why does he want to go to Tatooine? What's in Tatooine? Apart from Luke.
Who, Han?
Yeah, why does Han want to go to Tatooine at the end of this movie?
Doesn't he say something about Jabba the Hutt?
Well, yeah, he says about the gangster. The gangster is putting together an organization. Beckett told him that there's a gangster putting together an organization.
Yeah, so he goes there to meet, and that's how he gets into all that trouble with Jabba the Hutt. So he goes there to take over. Yeah, because Beckett was going to do it, so he just.
So he's just an opportunist. He's just an opportunist, and he wants to go and get onto a new deal. Yeah,
because he wanted to go make money, and then he ends up, gets all messed up, obviously. But yeah, yep. And that's kind of
PDX. I'm not sure asking what you're asking us to prove, and maybe you're asking us to prove the spider leg thing. I'm sure I can find a picture of Darth Maul with spider legs.
Yeah, I'm working on it. I'm about to just right here. Like this is just a toy, but this was always the idea. I'm really trying to find.
Yeah, those toys are sick.
Yeah, I'm trying to find the actual image. The one from Solo, I'm really having no luck on to find anything good. See, here's like the perfect image, but it's like not showing his entire body for some reason.
I can't see anything right now, but yeah.
This picture's not awful. Let's see here. I see he already has his legs. I don't understand. They don't really show it. Like I don't know why they're like so afraid to show the picture. Like I cannot find it.
So like there is.
Oh, okay. Here,
there's a picture here of Maul, and you can kind of see he's got spidery legs around a fire.
Yeah, that's the one. I'm probably looking at the exact same one.
But yeah, so it is true PDX. I know. But look at the pictures are amazing. Maybe with next episode I will find the video clip. There we go. Headless has found it. There you go.
So there you go.
Darth Maul adds the spider legs.
Again, it's hard to see, but here's the spider legs. And so what ends up happening is he ends up his brother ends up finding him, and he finds him, and he's all busted up and just like he's like almost out of his mind. But this is the way he had to survive after the fall. So.
Okay, and your Google ads have been listening to us tonight because I mentioned AT&T and we have an ad for them.
Yep, good old.
They've been listening to this thing. It's always Star Wars relevant, so that's fine. Well, thank you for finding that photograph. I know it was pretty hard.
There's a picture of his brother. Savage Prep.
Yeah, Maul still looks badass.
Yeah. So this is Clone Wars.
Yeah, I will be watching Clone Wars.
This is Clone Wars episode Brothers. Half crazed. See, here it is. As the Clone Wars raged on, Savage Press went looking for his brother. In the Clone Wars episode Brothers, Savage finds him. But by the time Savage shows up, however, Maul is half crazed and doesn't know his own name. He does know Obi-Wan because that's all he wants to do is revenge. Revenge. That's all he talks about is revenge. Obrus takes Maul back to Dathomir because that's where they're from. And in this episode, Revenge, Mother Tizon restores Maul's mind and gives him some new robot legs, and then sends him out to find Obi-Wan to get his revenge.
Ooh.
So this is the actual episode where he gets those legs. So
okay, and that episode is called Revenge. If anybody wants to go check it out,
it's called Brothers.
Well, I thought it said here, and in the episode Revenge,
in the episode
restores his mind and gives him new legs.
Okay, there you go. So I'm thinking Revenge. I'm not sure which one comes back. I'm not sure what the order is. I can look it up though. I can tell you what.
Well, I would guess it's Brothers then Revenge because Brothers looks like his brother goes to find him and then his mother makes him better. So yeah, cool.
So that is in season. Let's see.
Yeah, I haven't watched any of that. That will be something I do at the end of this.
Yeah, it's like I said, you can definitely watch through it as well, not having to like watch every single episode.
Mm-hmm. I might even just watch every episode. I'll try and find a way to fit it in normal routine. But yeah, that's pretty much it. How would you rate this episode? This movie? Where would you put this movie into the Star Wars list?
Oh,
remember, we currently, guys, for everyone listening right now, we have currently only reviewed episode 1, episode 2, and episode 3, and now we have jumped onto Solo.
Yeah, I'm gonna for next Sunday, because I don't want to lose track of what we've been ranking. I'm probably gonna make a little slide of it just to kind of like pull it up, because I think right now we're at, if I remember correctly, you are at a 6 for Phantom. I was at a 6.5 to 7.
Mm-hmm.
I think we were reversed on Attack. I think I had said 6, and you had said 7 or 6.5.
Yeah, 6, 7.
So we're like reversed the first two, and then you gave yesterday Revenge of the Sith, I think, a 10.
Yeah, 10 is my favorite Star Wars movie. Yeah.
And I give that a 9. So for Solo, I don't know.
I don't want to be harsh, but I feel like I have to be.
So for me, it's funny because like when I sit here and say, okay, do I like it better than Attack of the Clones? I probably do. But if you gave me a choice to watch Attack of the Clones or Solo, I'm probably going to pick Attack of the Clones because this is kind of just off of the saga. That's where I struggle with the rating on this one because if you give me the choice, I'm probably picking Attack of the Clones just because of the lore and everything else that's part of it. Whereas I've seen this movie now like 4 times or 5 times, and I really don't care if I ever see it again, to be honest with you, because it's not wonderful. But I think as an overall movie, I still think it's better than Attack of the Clones. So I guess if I have to do it that way, I would give this. I guess I would put this right in the middle. If I'm a 7 at Phantom and a 6 at Attack, I'll throw this right in the middle at 6.5. Even though I'd rather watch Attack, I think this is a better movie than that. Just because I think it's a little more fun to watch.
I appreciate your detailed thought into it. I really do. For me, it's a 5.
So you got lower than everything.
Yeah, it's lower than everything, and there's one reason for it.
Yep.
Solo, a Star Wars story with no lightsaber. Not one.
Yeah, no.
If they'd have given me one lightsaber, I would have bumped it up.
Yeah. And that is one of my big problems with it too.
Just call it Solo. You don't need to attach a Star Wars story to the title of this movie because that's what it is.
Yeah, but they did the same thing with Rogue One.
Do we get lightsabers in that? Because I really hope so.
I mean, it's Rogue One. It's about stealing the Death Star plans. So,
okay.
Without spoilers.
But no, okay. I can get on board with that, though. I'm not going to get on board the Death Star. That's not what's going to happen.
Yeah.
But yeah, no. I can get on board with the storyline of stealing the Death Star plans. That's a good idea.
Yeah, it's just like a prequel to what happens in A New Hope. It's just they talk about it so many different times about how these people went and stole the plans. Well, Rogue One shows you how that was done, and Andor's in it. So you know,
yeah, I'm going to give this movie Solo. I'm going to give it a 5.5. I'm not going to be as harsh as I should. 5.5. Still going to be the lowest movie on my list so far from the 4 that we've watched.
You know, it's funny you say that now. Now I want to go on IMDb and see what I ranked it. I want to see how close I am to where I actually ranked it. So
and people let us know in the chat what you think of Solo. If you've seen it, I'm sure a lot of people have. Umpty said earlier on he's not seen it for a long time. Umpty, if you're still here, do you want to give us your score from what you remember? And Charles, if you're still listening, how far are you in?
It's funny. I ranked it a 7 on IMDb.
And you just gave it a 6.5.
Yeah, but I mean, you can't do halves either on there. So I probably was being more generous because it was a Star Wars movie. I actually just moved it down to a 6. Now I want to go look at the other ones because I know I did this. I used to do this all the time when I watched the movies. So Attack of the Clones, I did
5.5 for me, says Tell. Thank you. Tell's with me.
Yeah. I mean, it's like I said, for a one-off movie, I still think it's more entertaining than Attack of the Clones. There's so much about Attack of the Clones that I absolutely hate. If it wasn't for the lore in the end, that movie's not even fun to watch. That's my biggest problem with that movie.
I enjoyed this movie more than I can say I enjoyed any of the sequels. From remembering from back in the day, again, I haven't finished the sequel trilogy, so it could be different when we go through these breakdowns. Umpty has replied, I will have to watch it again before I could score, but I know I liked it better than the last 3. You have to think what was the purpose of Solo?
Yeah. So Attack of the Clones, I was right on the money. I had that rated a 6. I want to say Phantom Menace. I want to say I have it higher. I bet you without even looking, I bet you I have Phantom Menace on here is an 8 or a 9. And
Probably.
I've changed over time with this movie. I ranked it as a 8 out of 10. So I said now it's a 7. So I mean, I'm one off, but I'm just gonna switch it right now because again, I just recently watched it. But again, I think back then when I ranked that, it was probably because I don't know how long IMDb's been around, but
Yeah,
I'm
not sure.
It's probably a 10 on here for me.
So it should be. But you've got it as a 9, which is consistent with your scoring. You've lowered down 1 point from everything that you did previously. So
because I know where I'm going in the next 4 movies. It's even honestly for me the next 5 movies, I know where I'm going with it, and I kind of have an idea where my ending is too. So I want to make sure that it makes sense.
You've got room. Yeah, okay.
Yeah, because I feel like I know my order without actually writing it down. I kind of still know my top 11. Like if I were to rattle it off right now, I think I'd be pretty darn close. So I kind of know a little bit, because I have done this before, just like on Facebook even, just Revenge.
Definitely. Well, yeah, so I score it 5.5 and you score it a 6. Is that correct?
I said 6.5.
Okay. So 6.5 for you. What's next? Rogue One.
Ooh, Revenge of the Sith, dude. Guess what I had that at? Had it an 8.
8?
Yeah.
Okay.
So that one's actually gone up for me in time. Yeah, I'm gonna have to write this. I'm gonna write this all down and make it a little slideshow so we're not losing track of what we actually did.
Yeah, we can bring some up. Have two versions.
Yeah, now that we actually have like 3 movies ranked, it's probably worth. Actually 4 movies ranked.
4 movies ranked now. Yeah.
So I mean,
we've done 2 weeks of this.
Mm-hmm.
So what's coming up next week? What have we got coming?
So let's see what's going on tomorrow. I will be dropping a video talking to the AI. I would try to make it not as I don't think it's necessary for me to record me actually typing. I think that slowed the video down after rewatching that. So I didn't get a ton of views on that video, so I'm gonna change some things up, and I'm also gonna try to put some clips in there as well instead of just me typing out a computer to kind of spice up the video a little bit. But I'm gonna be talking about questions from. I don't know if I'm really gonna do Solo so much. I really want to focus on some of the lore and what ifs from Revenge of the Sith. And I actually might throw a video together on the lightsaber colors. I think that's I think that's gonna be my plan for Wednesday. If not Wednesday, Thursday. I'll have the new podcast will be coming out Thursday. That will be the Attack of the Clones live that we did. So that'll be up on the podcast. I drop a new podcast video every Thursday. If you don't follow me on that, you can find it on Apple Tunes or Spotify. It's just Headless Nuts Art Podcast.
I believe it's linked in the description of all these videos anyway, so you should be able to find it.
It's always in the description.
Yeah.
What else? Friday, I'll drop my next quote video, which will be for Rogue One.
I drop mine tomorrow for Solo.
Because you just watched it, right?
Yeah, I just watched it, so I'm gonna drop. It'll be dropped tomorrow before the Horsemen. So it'll be like 20 minutes before the Horsemen go live. I'll drop that video.
Yep.
Just a couple of minutes, but yeah, carry on.
And one of these days, I'm gonna live stream the Last of Us. I'll be doing my third part here. I know I had saw Funko PDX that says something about it's about 55.
Each episode is 58 minutes of playtime. Yeah, 54 minutes of gameplay.
So again, I mean, I think, if you played it before and you know where to go, it's probably.
Well, I think he gave you a statement in the chat last night where he said, just play it for the story, don't care about anything else. And I don't think you want to do that with your first playthrough. You want to experience the game straight through. But I do think PDX is just piling through the story.
I watched the video. I mean, he knows exactly where to go and what to do. And
yeah,
I got to remember, I went in that room in the beginning of the game when I'm what's her face. Oh my gosh, I already forgot her name. The daughter.
Joel's daughter. I'm not sure.
I can't even remember Joel's daughter's name right now. But I plowed through that room and I'm like looking at the TV. I sort of got him like looking at the TV, trying to look for clues and see what they're saying. and PDX just kind of like runs right by it, like boom. Which I don't even know if you have to even go in that room. That honestly, I'm trying to remember if you actually even have to go in there.
Probably not.
I don't think there's anything in there. Now I'm trying to.
So yeah, you'll probably do your live stream for The Last of Us Friday, Saturday.
I don't know. I mean, I was even thinking about doing it tonight, even though it's already 8:30. I don't know. It'll probably be maybe Thursday.
Thursday's a good day.
I feel like Thursday is a good day to do a live stream like that. I know a lot of guys do it. Like, I know Caroline Chris is streaming. Hojo is streaming. Even PDX is streaming sometimes. Arcade is streaming. It's hard because these guys are streaming almost every single night. So it's hard to pick one where like less people are doing it. But yeah, I'll probably do it one of those nights. So Wednesday or Thursday. If I do it Wednesday, it'll be after Beer Pop. So.
And that's all leading up to Sunday. And what are we doing on Sunday?
So Sunday we got Rogue One at 7 p.m.
All on the Headless Ned Stark channel.
Yep, and then Raven Reviews will be back with
yes, it will.
Their second one that will be at around 10:30. I think the next episode is about an hour and 15 minutes. So we'll probably go 10:30, 10:35, somewhere in that range, and we'll be talking about and breaking out episode 3 of This Is The Last of Us. Yep. And then we'll be back here next week on Monday with you at 7 p.m. Eastern, and we'll be breaking down A New Hope.
The first ever Star Wars movie from back in the day. I don't remember what year it was. Was it 64?
77.
77. Jesus Christ.
77, 80, 83 for the first.
Okay. 77. So yeah, I really enjoy the OT. I really enjoy the original trilogy.
Oh yeah, absolutely.
I've always loved it, and I'm looking forward to breaking that down.
Yeah,
I was looking through the thumbnails that we have for the live streams that we're sharing, and I quite like what we've both got. We've both, like, I think you had my favorite movie, which was yesterday,
Revenge of the Sith.
but then I get Return of the Jedi, which I'm happy about. Yep. So it's like it kind of fits in,
Yep.
Yeah. So you can all catch me tomorrow on The Horseman, 8 p.m. Central. I'm not sure who's hosting. If I don't know, it might be me, it might be somebody else, but I'm sure we'll be on every single channel anyway, so you'll be able to find us. I will drop my solo quotes video tomorrow also, and then that's pretty much me away from YouTube until the weekend, unless somebody pulls me in for something random. I'll be hanging out with LJ after The Horseman as always. What else have I got planned? Might do a live with Anthony Blaze on Saturday if he's available. Talk some wrestling. I know we've got the Royal Rumble coming up real soon, and then Sunday is double lives with Headless. I'm going to try and find a day to fit some gaming into. I know that you all know my 5-year plan for YouTube was 333 subscribers in 3 different sections, and gaming would be the last one. But I suppose there's no better time to start than the present, right? So if I can find a game that I'm comfortable to sit here and play with, then yeah. You're way off, Ryan. What do you mean?
Oh, because you said 1964 or something?
Oh, okay. Yeah. I thought I might have said something wrong with the schedule, but yeah. So I might find a day to play some games. But you all know I'm just going to play Dark Souls because that's the real man's game. That hasn't got a difficulty because that's hard.
Yeah.
But yeah, that's about it. Thank you. I want to thank everybody for hanging out today. There's been consistently 4 people all night. I know that it's a strange one and it's not a very popular movie, so I understand that if there's not a lot of people here, just play whatever you want. Exactly, PDX. Although some of the things are probably banned from YouTube. I remember this one game where is it Topless Crazy Truckers? And I remember a game with a girl with big boobs and there's a big truck behind her. It's probably banned on YouTube.
Is it like cartoon nudity then? Is that why?
Yeah, pretty much.
Yeah. Okay. Well, yeah.
Yeah, so I can't play whatever I want, unfortunately, PDX. But yeah, again, I was just halfway through thanking everybody. Thank you, everybody, for hanging out tonight. I appreciate it. Like I said, the movie's not that popular. It's something I hadn't seen before, so it wasn't on my radar. And I'm glad that Headless brought it to my attention with this I don't even know what it is, this chronological order of watching, not release order. That's correct, right? We're watching it in chronological order.
Chronological, yeah. I mean, because again, if you know the main spoilers here with Darth Vader and everything, there's really, I mean, there's really no reason not to watch it chronologically. Yeah,
No, I like how you've done this. I like how you've introduced me to Han Solo before we meet him in the next movie.
Before you meet him, so you kind of get the idea of what the Kessel Run is about, and even though it's not the greatest story, you know, and everything like that, but yeah, at least they give you a little backstory, and it does stink that you know you get the mall spoiler and then you never see him again until you watch the cartoons. But you know,
yeah.
Who knows?
Well, again, I want to thank you, Headless, for being my co-host. I want to thank you for your time consistently every single week. You're always on time. You're always here, and you're always knowledgeable about especially Star Wars stuff. So I appreciate your headcanon, and you're able to explain it quite elegantly. And if you can't explain it, we always have friends like Google/Tell Talks and all that kind of stuff. So yeah, don't forget, guys, you can catch us here every Sunday and every Monday, either on my channel or Headless Ned Stark's channel. He's clicking buttons, and we've lost our background.
Yeah, no,
but it's cool.
I wanted to see if I could get your thing is definitely not up there.
Yeah, I know. I need to fix all that. But yeah, if you want to know where to find us, guys, you can find us on Instagram, YouTube, TikTok. I'm Ryan Milky, and that's Headless Ned Stark. Connect with us every Sunday, every Monday, and we are also combining our powers and our knowledge, and we are now the Raven Reviews. This shouldn't be up right now. Headless is playing games.
I'm trying to get the song ready. At least
yeah, we can do the outro. So yeah, don't forget, guys, keep those heads on. Anything you want to say, Headless?
Yeah, and always stay milky.
Thank you. We will see you all later.